Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday night watch chat. I am Bobby Legs, and I'm joined with a couple of my friends who happen happen to be English. I didn't mean this to happen. I didn't mean it to happen this
Hey.
way.
Surprise to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm joined this evening with by Sam from Casual Watches and Thomas from the Escape Show. Sam, how are you, my friend? What's
Yeah,
new?
good. Yeah, glad to be back on the live stream. I always enjoy doing these with you. But yeah, I am all good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, all good.
Yeah. So, what do you got on wrist? Most importantly.
I was going to swap something out to be a little bit more fancy, but I have actually been wearing this Seiko today. So my Seiko SNE
Very nice.
598 on a sort of NATO-y type nylon strap
Yeah.
from Canadian Strap Mill. But yeah, that is what I've actually have been wearing. So that's good.
Very nice, very nice. And hey, Thomas, up late, very late,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I appreciate
Oh,
you.
I've always got tuned into Bobby Legs, haven't I?
Yeah,
Come on, Bobby Legs mug.
yeah, nice, nice. Thank you, Tom. And Thomas, tell us a little bit about your channel.
Yeah, it's gaming show. It's just a group of friends doing casual watch talk. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah,
Get the lawyers on you.
Get the lawyers on me. Yeah, doing a laid back watch talk. We've got Abdul our watches. He runs his own channel. He's based in Germany.
Yep.
We've got JCB. He's based in Australia. Y2K based in Singapore, and Ben, who's got Wonder Watches channel based in Ireland.
yeah,
And we just, it's basically a social affair. Just a group of friends like to get together and chat watches. We do it fortnightly because it's I try and put a bit of work into it and get topics that we can talk about. So it's a fortnightly show. It's a bit early for the US audience, unfortunately, because we have to coincide. We have to schedule the time for the Australian audience,
right,
because we've got some JCB joining from Australia and the guy from Y2K from Singapore. So we have to do it 11:30, start at 11:30, around noonish UK time, GMT. So it's sort of like 6 in the morning. That's for the US audience. So, but you can catch us on replay or wake up early if you feel like it.
Yeah. I sometimes I catch you guys early in the morning on a Saturday before, and I'll watch. And then the kids wake up, right? And so, I have to tend to that, get them breakfast and everything like that. I'm gonna put the link to your show in the description. So if you guys are interested in looking into Thomas's show or the replays of the show, that would be great. I used to love when you used to do that, the Punters show. Right, with
what talk with Punters with Bruce and
yeah,
that was great. We
those
reviewed your collection, didn't we?
yeah, that was a lot of fun. You reviewed a couple of people. I think maybe Rick over here.
We had Rick on watches. Yeah, we had Penny all in her movements. Penny,
yeah.
We had Tennessee Mike.
Yep.
Bill Sanders.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got good old Bill on there, huh?
Yeah, loads of people who came on and had their collections reviewed. Yeah, it's great.
What do you got on wrist tonight, Thomas?
I'm wearing the watch that got me seriously into watches. This is a one I inherited. It's an old 1950s Omega. I inherited it off my great uncle, who's also called Thomas Burnett. Went down and did a house clearance down south in the UK, and when they passed away, my uncle and my great auntie passed away, and I found it in a drawer, and it was in mint condition, so I'd hardly worn it. So yeah, that was in the year 2000, and I thought, I'm having that. It's my namesake's watch. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool story behind it. Hey, I got my my Casio, my G-Shock. I've been wearing this religiously. Love watching it. Now, guys, before we say hello to the chat and before we jump into tonight's topic, next week I will be giving away a watch. Let me show you what the watch is going to be. It's going to be the Di Milano Black, the sketch.
Ah,
I got this.
brilliant.
So I'll be giving this away next week on the live stream. Of course, you have to be a member. It's a members only giveaway. So if you want to become a member, there's a join button underneath there. There's 3 different levels. There's a level for just to be a member of the live streams and to be involved with these giveaways. And then there's a couple other levels that will give you access to a Discord server. Anyway, did this because of the spam factor during some of the giveaways recently, and so this way, serious members, serious people who are into the channel and love participating, I'm giving you guys a chance to win this watch. Okay, let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll get right into the topic here. Hey, there's Rob Mountain Standard Time all the way from Colorado wearing his tag 2000.
Oh, great watch.
Hey, there's Rick. How you doing, Rick?
Hooray.
Marceau is here wearing his Grand Seiko this evening. John B is here. James, what is up? Steve Time Hill is here. Oh,
Let's see.
what is up? What's going on? Caliber is here. Peter C is here. Joey B, what's going on? He's wearing his green Legend Diver this evening. KR Joy is here. Good to see you. All right. Let's see here. And it looks like everybody is accounted for.
Great silly, funny names, isn't it? It's like a little family, like a little social club, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. Okay, hey, the reason why we're here this evening is that we are going to be talking about the new releases from the Audemars Piguet that came out this week. I typically do almost a daily kind of like news show, but there was just so many model releases for AP that I figure just do it on the stream, get a couple people in here to comment. I am not a huge expert on AP. I appreciate AP, and I think Sam, I feel like you're in the same boat as I am. Thomas is going to have more of an opinion on these this evening, and maybe Sam and I could bounce off of that and have a good old time. Von Krul is here. Good to see you wearing his new GP casket. Hey, you finally got it.
Oh, nice one, Krul. Nice one.
Yeah, he's been waiting for that, I think, to come in or to be shipped to him, right? So, awesome.
Well, I'm going to start off, and I'm really disappointed with AP because.
Okay. Tell us generally how you feel.
Yeah. I don't know whether they should be in the Holy Trinity anymore, basically. But, they got basically 2 models in their collection,
right,
for their identity: the Royal Oak,
yes,
and basically the Code 1159.
Right.
You got the offshore, which is basically a beefed up Royal Oak, and you got the occasional remaster that they do. For a milestone anniversary, AP just played it safe and to the hype crowd and released a load more Royal Oaks and a couple of Code 1159s. And I don't know, they're complications, okay, granted, but I don't know whether the hype crowd buy into complications or not. Your general sort of Royal Oak buyers. I get so sick of the Royal Oak now. There's so many YouTube channels that spruik the Royal Oak that say, "Oh, you start off with Rolex and then you surpass Rolex, and it's you got to get a Royal Oak," and it's just like, no, I mean, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, we don't all start off with Rolex,
right?
For starters, and then why should I aspire to this Royal Oak watch?
Well, that's interesting, Tom. That's interesting, Thomas. Sam, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we all start off with Casio. I mean, not to start some YouTube drama here, Thomas, but It's an interesting one for me. I've reviewed a couple of Royal Oaks on the channel, and I reviewed Rose Gold Royal Oak chronograph, and it
wow.
was probably one of the best watches that I've ever actually held. Like there is something about them. There's something the way that bracelet articulates. You're right. The offshore is a nice looking watch, but it's weird with that sort of rubber on the crown and the pushers and stuff like that. Yeah, it does look. I agree, Thomas. It is just like a beefed up Royal Oak, but I guess it's one of these brands that I'd never really think a lot about because it's out of the realm of. I mean, I can imagine myself like maybe affording one day, but it's like, would I want that much money on my wrist?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, but what do you think about what Thomas is saying about how AP shouldn't be, well, at least according to him, shouldn't be in the royal in the holy trinity of watches? I mean, it's a subjective argument, right? I mean, like, I mean, I tend to agree with Thomas. I feel like it's a one brand, it's a one model brand. I mean, I know they have the Code 11, and they've been trying really, really hard to push to get the Code 11. And I actually think it's a better looking watch over the last couple of years with the improvements that they've made and the changes of the design than when it first came out a couple of years ago. And there's, obviously, some dressy pieces that they have, but to me, it's just like it's like it's like Tudor with the black here in the States anyway, right? Tudor with the Black Bay, right? I mean, I know Tudor has other models, and those other models are popular in other parts of the world. But for me, it's just like I think of Tudor as the Black Bay watch, right? The Black Bay brand, and I get those vibes with the Royal Oak, even though, like you said, the Royal Oak is a beautiful watch. I've seen them in person. I've held them. The way it articulates, the way it looks. It is an elegant timepiece for sure. But do you think, in your estimation, Sam, if you had to create the Holy Trinity of watches, and you had, let's say, you had a Patek in there and VC in there, right? Let's say that, for the sake of this argument, they're no brainers. They're in it. Would you keep AP in there with them?
Yeah, it's a great question, isn't it? Because did they self-anoint themselves? I've never looked into this.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, if you're talking the Holy Trinity, as in just the sheer like watch craftsmanship, then I see where Thomas is going, because they've essentially more or less become like a tool watch brand, haven't they? Almost.
Yeah.
And then you've got other like Roger Smith and other people like that, where it's actual horological artistry. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because
I mean, AP they have had milestones. I mean, they released the first perpetual calendar. I mean, we're looking at perpetual calendars on screen. They released the first perpetual calendar with a leap year indicator in 1955. So they have had, significant steps where they've made horological sort of milestones,
Right.
So,
Sure.
They have had stuff, but they've had some lovely watches in the past. The Edward Piguets, the Jules Audemars, things like the Cobra. But I would switch them out for Lange now.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
I would take AP out of the Trinity, and I'd switch them out for Lange. I'd put Lange there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, like, hard to argue with that one, Thomas. Joey B saying, I'm with Thomas on AP. They're completely stale. Royal Oak is a beautiful watch, but so many brands with great history and diversity that I appreciate much more. Piguet and JLC to start.
Yeah, or Cartier is up there. Cartier's got some impressive stuff, hasn't it? I mean, they made the first, if it's wristwatches, they made the first wristwatch, didn't they? Men's wristwatch.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. And it's, look, this is an argument that, we can have like every day, right? And maybe our thoughts would change just as frequently as the argument comes up, right? I mean, so but I love having the discussion. Let's get through some of these and just talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, and see, like, like, get your thoughts on, and chat, please feel free to give us your thoughts as well.
And I don't know whether it's the sports stars, the rappers, the Hollywood actors, or just celebrity in general that have made the Royal Oak such a big watch. I mean,
yeah, I mean, like, but I think so back in maybe in the early 2000s when I first started getting into watches. I remember going on Yoma Shop, and that was really one of the only online dealers at the time. This is like early 2000s, right? And I remember seeing Royal Oaks for like 10 grand for sale, like new Royal Oaks for. So I guess there is some maybe some attachment or some correlation with celebrity making these watches even more and more
big time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but I think it's also a classic look. I mean, even though it's very like 70s, right?
It's got a lot of symmetry to it. It's very symmetrical.
It was part of like a fad in the 70s. I mean, now it's more than just a fad, right? But I mean, because it's lasted so long. So I think, yeah, I mean, I guess the popularity and the exclusivity came about because of a lot of like kind of like affiliations with famous people. But I feel like it was always a very popular, even like in early, even though I don't know what I'm saying, but I feel like yes, the association with rappers and sports stars are
yeah. Well, I mean, it had celebrity clientele, but it's changed, hasn't it? Because Karl Lagerfeld was obviously a very famous wearer of the Royal Oak, wasn't he? And he was sort of like high fashion. And then I think, more or less the last sort of 10 or 15 years, it's become where, because I don't remember like growing up like 80s and 90s and seeing like anybody wear rappers or like sports stars or whatever. They were all wearing like Tag, weren't they, or Jacob and Co, the World Time watches and stuff like that. I don't remember a lot of
Rolex and Tag definitely in the 90s owned the marketing, right? The corner of the marketing, and pretty much laid down the blueprint for all these other brands to do so at certain scaling, right? Okay. So let's jump right into it. Audemars Piguet, we got the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar, self-winding 26674. Thin watch with all these complications. One of my favorites, if I have a favorite of the release, this one, and there's another piece that I'll highlight later on. But I mean, nothing new here, right? It's just like we got something we have a stainless steel version and 18 karat gold, sand gold bracelet brushed with polished accents. I mean, the price point is crazy, right? 109,000 and 130,000.
Yeah.
But you do have, a perpetual calendar with week indication, date, astronomical moon, month, and leap year, right? So
one thing about APs, have always been big on ultra thin cases, and that's one thing they pull off really well.
But it's also kind of it also opens it up. I mean, I've heard nightmare stories about having to get these things serviced or returned.
Because expensive.
You're right, because of these are delicate. They're a little bit more delicate than you'd like, right? Especially at that price point.
Yeah, that's why there's that red indicator there, isn't it? Like, do not change this, do not change the date, where the 24-hour is there. That red bar is the no adjust zone.
Vancouver, same with Rich Mitch. He's like, wait, what Thomas is doing? It's 2:00 in the morning. Thomas is in Germany, man. If he wasn't going to be on the chat on the show tonight, he'd be in the chat. He's great. Given the great pile of money it takes to get a complicated AP, I'd rather get a Grubel 4C.
Downright Marceau.
Yeah.
But they're using now the 7138 caliber instead of the old 5134, which was the original 1972 KLC base movement.
Yeah.
Which was 50 years old now.
Right.
So in this watch here, you got a blue PVD dial on the steel one, and then you've got this what they're calling sand gold dial on the gold one. The sand gold I quite like. It's quite a nice sort of hue of gold. I think it's quite a nice gold. But what I think they've really done really well is they've got this 4-position crown, which is very impressive, being able to adjust all the subdials.
Right.
And all the positions for adjusting time, month, leap year, day of the week, moon phase, and everything without pushers that you usually have on
the recessed. Yeah, you used to have like recessed pusher.
Recessed pushers, and it makes it a lot more waterproof. So it makes the watch a lot more waterproof. I think it's 50 meters instead of 30 meters water resistance now. So rather than having the pushers that you have to push to move each sub-register, you got this 4-position crown which you can turn in both directions. So that's a real innovation now.
Yeah, you highlighted the sand gold. I was having a hard time trying to find like a nice or a really good picture of it online. I bet you these things look great in person, though. I mean, I bet you it looks fantastic in person. It just doesn't seem to whatever photos I got from monochrome just didn't kind of like make it pop or stand out.
Yeah, Hodinkee actually said this in their. They did a write-up of this, and they actually said that when he was wearing it, I forget who the article was, said various people would walk past and be like, "Oh, that's a nice gold watch. Oh, that's a nice rose gold watch. Oh, that's a nice." So apparently, in just different lights, it looks like different, either like rosy gold or like a yellow gold or like even like white gold. It has like a different, takes on different hues based on the lighting.
Yeah, and probably that's why, I mean, it's hard to get a good picture of it for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the permanent collection. I don't think these are just are not limited.
Yeah, they are limited. They're 50
they
limited editions of each, with branding on the moon phase and engravings on the back. So then they'll go into the general collection.
Gotcha.
So but I think the blue PVD is a bit like the old John Mayer that they brought out last year, the John Mayer Royal Oak. So yeah, I mean, I think the steel one is going to be unobtainium. It's going to be one of these really hard to get ones. The gold one, who knows? It'd be probably unobtainium as well. There's going to be people with they're going to be people who are the APVV VIPs,
right?
Who are going to stroll in. We've got deep pockets who are going to stroll in there and just say, "I'll have one of those."
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move on to the Perpetual Calendar Openwork 150th anniversary. This one, I mean, it's okay, right? I mean, Thomas doesn't like it. This was limited to 150 pieces for AP's 150th anniversary. Let me just get a little specs in there, Thomas, before I let you go. 41 millimeter, just under 10 millimeter case thickness. It's titanium. Only 20 meter water resistance, sapphire dial, right? Sub dials and inner bezel in shades of blue, 18 karat white gold applied hour markers. It's that caliber 5135 in-house automatic movement, 40-hour power reserve. Come on, give me some more power reserve, right? It's a $175,000 watch. And then of course you got the bracelets. Thomas, tell me why you had such a reaction to this one.
Oh, it looks. I saw it in the monochrome article, and it was on the wrist of someone. It looks absolutely totally illegible. It looks awful. Yeah. I mean, it's based on a pocket watch that was made for the 20th anniversary of the Royal Oak, and it's still using that JLC base 5134 movement. It's got titanium, and it says bulk metallic glass. Mid links on the bracelet. So bulk metallic glass on the bracelet, as well as on the bracelet, these sensor links on the bracelet. So the mid links on the bracelet are made of bulk metallic glass, apparently. So that's why it's called titanium and BMG.
Gotcha.
So yeah. I've been toing and froing with a friend over this one, and he's been saying, "Oh, it's the goat. It's the it's going to be a future." He's been sending me Instagram messages saying it's going to be a future classic, and I'm just like, oh, please.
But Thomas, and I'll open this up to Sam too. I mean, do you have a look? At the end of the day, we're not buying these watches, and so this is just all fun and games and speculation and hearsay and jabbing back and forth. But do you have a problem with $175,000 price tag on a movement that's not even their movement?
Yeah, JLC movement. Yeah.
Well, that it says that BMG is used for the bezel as well. So I can only see it on this little photo here, but it looks like those those bolts aren't actual bolts, are they? It looks like they're molded into the material there, rather than separate pieces. So is the bezel like a glass as well? Because it says like BMG bezel here, but it looks like it's a different material, the bezel, and it looks like the bolts are almost molded in there, which I like. That looks cheap to me. And the other thing as well is like, how do you get a watch only 20 meters water resistance? Because surely if you've got a gasket in the back and a gasket on the crown, I mean, there's your 50 meters like straight off.
Yeah.
I mean, that case back is bolted on. What is that, like 10 flipping bolts on the back of that? Like, how you would have had to have engineered it to be 20 meters water resistance.
Right.
Is there another watch that's 20 other than a vintage watch?
Yeah, that's a great point, Sam. Symphony for the Bezel saying, watch Eric will put on a video on that AP saying, whoever wears this watch will be the bully of the block.
Oh,
is that what the kids are saying? Symphony.
I've not watched Watch Eric for ages. He used to.
I know. I used to watch it like when he was with the jeweler working before he went on his own.
Oh, like CRM, is it?
Yeah, CRM. He used to crack me up. I didn't know if this guy was like, if he was a couple sandwiches short of a picnic, or was this like, and it was the way he. I mean, I don't know. I thought he's funny. I think he's knowledgeable when it comes to like the business side. His tastes, a little crazy for me. But
he's one of the kind of YouTubers that says, you move on from you start with Rolex, then you need a Royal Oak. You have to have a Royal Oak.
Yeah.
And he's one of those I'm just tired of,
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now we're getting away from the Royal Oaks a little bit here. We're going with the Coda 1159. The self-winding perpetual, another perpetual calendar here. This one, I got to tell you, I don't hate. The 1159s, they're growing on me.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So you got a 41 case diameter, 10 thick, 18 karat gold case with octagonal central case, and hollowed out lugs module, brushed with polished accents. Let's go here. Smoked blue embossed signature dial, tone on tone sub dials, and inner flange snailed. 18 karat white gold hour marker, 18 white gold hands. The caliber 7131/8 in house, right? And so you have the perpetual calendar with the week indication, day date. That's astronomical. So basically the same as the Royal Oak, but you have it here with the 1159. Again, we got to like not even pretend we're looking at the price, but price aside, I like this one, Thomas.
This is my favorite of the lot. This is my favorite of the whole lot of releases so far. That were in monochrome. This also uses the 4-position crown. As you said, it's got a 7138 new caliber in it. White gold case, thinner than normal at 10.6 mil. Yeah, I really like this. It's a new generation case of the 1159 as well.
Yeah.
It looks lovely. I think it's really nice. I think the color of the dial's nice. Also the moon, apparently on the moon phase, is a photo of a NASA from NASA.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually it's actually a photo from NASA on the moon phase. So that's a really cool little touch.
Yeah, Sam, what do you thought? What was that, Sam?
Christopher Ward do that on their moon phase.
Yeah.
It's an actual photo etching of the moon.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this one, Sam?
I certainly like the look. Like this is a beautiful looking watch. Does it?
Yeah.
If you're an AP buyer, though, I don't think this is your first pick, is it? Like you're going in for a Royal Oak. But I mean, God, 109,000 Swiss francs, and it's on a $20 sailcloth strap.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. This is my favorite as well.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you say that you'd mentioned that the buyer, they're going to go in and get Royal Oak. They can't even get the Royal Oaks the first day. They have to. I think they have to buy like an 1159, right? And you probably have to get this 1159 before you can get the
basic Royal Oak,
Royal or even the Royal Oak like perpetual calendar version, right? Unfortunately, they make you play those games.
Yeah.
Marceau saying he appreciates the extra 10 meters water resistance on this one. Don't we all? Don't we all? Okay.
If you're super rich, then you probably. I mean, if you had to buy that to get the Royal Oak and you really wanted the Royal Oak, you wouldn't be mad with it, would you? It's not. It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not the biggest offshore fan. I like this one.
This is an interesting one. In 1990s, AP was struggling to sell the Royal Oak and got a designer to make something young men would want to wear. Said. And in 1993, the offshore chrono nicknamed the Beast came out because of its size, which was reintroduced in 2021. And this is practically a carbon copy of it, except it's got black tie indices and with either black or dark grey on the indices and loom. And they've made a large tapisserie dial instead of the small grand tapisserie dial.
Yep.
They've made it a lot bigger. I quite like this because it's ceramic, purely because of the material. I'm a fan of ceramic watches. I quite like this one.
Yeah, I like again. I'm not the biggest offshore fan, but I do like it. I think it's because I like the ceramic as well, Thomas. But I think dimensions wise, I like this is a nice dimension for me, 42 and 15. I like how you highlighted the mega tapisserie on the dial. That is very true compared to the other your run-of-the-mill everyday Royal Oak. So there's a little bit of a difference there. 70-hour power reserve, which is nice. Flyback chronograph. I mean, here I'm seeing the value. I mean, well, forget about the 86,000. Okay, forget about that. But I mean, like compared to like what I've seen so far in the release, this one appeals to me the most. I do like the 1159, but I mean, like if you gave me the choice here, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, and money was no object. Of course, this is Fantasyland. This might be the one that I would go with. Sam, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, again, I like it. The only the offshores that I've reviewed on the channel, I don't know whether they've gone away from this now, but the pushers and the crown used to be like a rubber material.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
Quite odd.
Yeah.
It looks like they've moved away from the internal on dial cyclops on this one, so it's kind of fits perfectly into one of the squares, which I like as well. I think the dial is very pleasing to the eye, isn't it? I don't know how legible it will be. That render doesn't perhaps do the hands justice in terms of legibility, but it is a good looking watch. And again, it's one of the handful of fully ceramic with a ceramic bracelet watches, isn't there? That you don't see many of them. I mean, GP do one, don't they? But again, like this is, I agree with you. This is definitely a conversation piece, isn't it? If you owned it.
Absolutely. Von Krul highlighting that 433 parts in that movement. That's quite enough. Agreed. I mean, that's a lot of parts. That's a lot of parts. Okay. Okay. We got the Royal Oak Offshore Self-Winding Chronograph 43. This is where this is where they lose me a little bit here. Not crazy about this one, although I do like the green.
This is called a three-toned Royal Oak Offshore chrono.
Yes.
And this reminds me of something that Tissot would do to the PRX.
Oh, wow.
A three-toned. It's got green pushers, green dial, black bezel, and a titanium case. And it just reminds me of something that Tissot would do to a PRX. I don't know. It just seems gimmicky to the max.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a stylistic thing, Thomas. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me. I mean, compared to what we previously saw here, it's just it is a little bit thinner case, a little bit more though on the diameter, so it's going to still feel kind of big here. It's just like, again, just a matter of taste. And you have a rubber strap on this one. I quite like the ceramic bracelet on the other one. I thought, Sam made a good point. Like, one of very few watches you'll see that will have also the ceramic bracelet on it. Sam,
more water resistant though, this one, isn't it?
100, 100. I think the previous one was 100 as well. That, and it's funny. I tried that new Tag F1 on that has the chronograph pushers similar to that, where they're larger. Instead of the like the chronograph pushers on that are more part of the case, aren't they? And that new Tag F1's like that, and it worked quite well. But what is going on with that strap adjustment system there? That looks almost as if it's broken.
Yeah,
it's like it even just
the best picture. Yeah. It's not a very flattering picture to show what you can do or how you can remove the strap from the case. I agree. It's just it looks a little odd.
Yeah, I can't quite work out how that attaches. I presume they're buttons, are they? And somehow there's like little latches on there to. Yeah, very odd.
Yeah, I mean the first black ceramic Royal Oak Offshore was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one model. I could see Arnold Schwarzenegger wearing something like this. To be honest with you.
Right. Okay, and I think this is the second to last one here. Code 1159, the self-winding flying tourbillon in 38.
Definitely a women's watch. This has got 235 brilliant cut diamonds in it around the bezel and the clasp.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I guess to me this doesn't really make sense.
No.
I guess they're I mean, I guess the audience is women. I don't know any women, or I've heard any women being impressed with any kind of like tourbillon on the watch, right? You know what I mean? Like I get the jewels or the diamonds or sapphires, crystals. I get all that. Tourbillon on a woman's watch, I don't know.
Yeah, tourbillons haven't been really a piece thing until 1986 when they made the world's first thinnest automatic serially produced tourbillon, and then the Octo Finissimo being thinness. But tourbillons aren't really a piece thing, I don't find, until recently. They're not my thing either, because I don't really get tourbillons. So
they're
not really. They're a bit.
Sam,
useless.
You want to bail me out from that comment I made? You want to help me out?
No, I'm smiling because of the discussion we were having before about how you'd have to get a code 1159 to get a Royal Oak, but maybe this is. Oh, have you got a Royal Oak perpetual calendar? Oh, does your wife?
Yeah.
This is like where if you ever go on like a cruise ship or something and you look at watches and they're like, oh, would your wife like a tennis bracelet?
Right.
This is that Oak. This is that one, isn't it? It's like, oh, would you? Do you care for this for the? Or this is perhaps you buy this for your wife if you go solo to AP, and she's like, how much did you spend? Well, this one I also got this one. But yeah, it's odd, isn't it? It's those. I don't know why this seems weird, but that diamond on the tip of the lug there in the bottom photo seems almost like a waste of a diamond placement.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Yeah, it's not.
Caliber saying at least this women's tourbillon will be available for purchase.
The looks are different, though. The looks are different. I mean, they are diamond encrusted, but they are differently shaped.
The
looks.
Yeah, I mean, €188,000. Yikes!
Yeah.
All right, last one here. Code 1159. Self-winding chronograph in stainless steel. Not as dynamic as the one that we saw previously. The perpetual calendar, obviously, because it doesn't have that move. But this one to me is very, very boring. Very, very boring as well.
Boring. They've gone for an embossed guilloche dial design in grey colour, which is sort of concentric circles. On the time date one, they've got a matching date window, which is a plus, I guess. But the chronograph's okay, don't mind it. But the time only, it's not worth 26 grand.
Right.
I don't think the chronograph's worth 35 grand. But,
right.
But
yeah, that chronograph's like for my taste is my favorite, but that. You could. I'm trying to think of another brand that could do something like that. Maybe Breitling, or it's got that kind of look. I like the look, but not necessarily the fact that it's an AP and it's that price. I wouldn't. I would go for that watch because I like the look, not because it's an AP and I can get an AP.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
but 30 meters water resistance. It's ridiculous. Like, what are they doing? Like, they're not even trying, are they? They're not even bothering.
No.
Good. I agree, Marceau. I'd buy a Hublot before any of these. I would too. Anyway, okay. So Thomas had highlighted one that I had missed. So let's take a look at that one.
Yeah, was I wrong, or was there the skeleton dial one that we looked at? Didn't they actually re-release the pocket watch of that, or were they just showing it that was what the pocket watch was in the articles?
I think that's what they were showing. What it was,
right?
Yeah,
because it looked very modern. That if you're saying it isn't, let's have a look.
Thomas, tell us about this one.
This one's. I'm trying to think of the stone that they're using. They're using.
Let's see here.
If you just scroll up again, I think it'll show you. Scroll up. Just scroll up.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm as high as I can go.
Sorry, down. Sorry.
Like, sorry, I think I go down. So harder design, taking center stage. Okay.
Just scroll down again. Opal dial. It's an opal dial. Now, this is the kind of celebratory 150 years anniversary kind of watch that I would expect from a brand like AP. It's using stone dials. It's utilizing the code 1159 case. It's precious metal. It's something different. It's not just a Royal Oak. It's not just a code 1159. It's something out of the ordinary. So this I can see as a 150th anniversary kind of watch, a celebratory watch. Not for everyone, of course, but this is the kind of thing that I could see being a piece unique or a very limited piece, which is celebratory. A stone dial. Same with the Grand Sonnery underneath. I mean, it's a minute repeater, so it's a super sonnery, just like this one, which is the one you had below, above. Sorry,
this one right here.
Yeah, Just like that one. That's a skeleton version of it, which is a super soldery.
The site is just buffering a little bit here.
What are
yeah,
those
I mean this
crowns? Why are there two crowns on it? That's not a helium escape valve, surely, with PS on it there. Because the Opal dial had the Opal one had another crown on it as well.
Yeah, it's something to do with the minute repeater, I guess.
Oh yeah.
This one I find totally legible. Totally legible. I mean, I'm not a fan of skeleton dials myself, but I find it totally legible.
But you can't see the workings of the minute repeater if that is one.
You can't tell the time on it.
So that Opal dial was a minute repeater as well.
Yeah, it was a minute repeater.
Okay, that'll be what the crown is then, perhaps to wind the minute repeater.
Yeah.
Let's take a. What's the price point on these? Because I didn't see any price point, Thomas.
I haven't seen a price for it either. No.
Okay, it's probably why you have to ask. And if you do have to ask, you can't afford it, right? Price on request. Yeah. Okay. Any guess, Sam?
Grand Sonnery. Grand Sonnery, you're talking a minute repeater. You're talking about 400. I would have thought. I would have thought about 400,000.
Eric sees like a rainfall radar map.
Yeah, or like mold, like a mold culture underneath the microscope.
Yeah.
That's great.
But at least they've used stone. They've used a stone dial. They've used a minute repeater function complication.
Mm-hmm.
It's something right. It's something a bit more exciting
for 150-year anniversary. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's something a bit more exciting. All right, they've maybe got the colours wrong. They could have used a different stone. They could have used something else. But a minute repeater is the kind of thing you need to be celebrating 150 years with.
Yeah, they discovered penicillin by accident.
What's your sauce?
Good one. Hey Sam, what do you got? What do you got going on the channel? What do you have for us in the next week or so or two?
Yeah, I've got some good things coming up. I got a review a couple of lending watches from Citizen. So
nice.
I'll be doing this one soon. They've gone kind of back to the 90s, which I actually really, really appreciate. So this is like a two-tone with you can't really tell there, but green dial, two-tone, gold, and like sort of off of Wall Street. It's the wrapping on it, but yeah, really cool little gift, little review package from Citizen. Unfortunately, they all have to go back to Citizen, but and then I've got I've just been working on an upload about which I should have released tomorrow, which is with all of the news of Amazon now taking over controlling stake in James Bond. Who's the next Bond and what would his watch be? So I've got 5 picks for who I think which watches and from which brands I think the next Bond watch should be.
Really? Amazon have taken over instead of.
So Barbara Broccoli sold out her. So Eon, Barbara Broccoli had basically the set. Amazon bought MGM Studios, so they own the property James Bond from.
Okay.
MGM. But Barbara Broccoli always had like controlling stake of it because the family Eon Productions, but she last week said, "Look, I'll just have the final say." Because the reason there hasn't been another James Bond film is because they can't decide on a script, and because Barbara Broccoli and there's somebody else I forget his name, but they have controlling stake over it. So since they've been basically at loggerheads with Amazon for the last 2 years. That's why there hasn't been a James Bond film started for 7 years, and there isn't one in the works. But yeah, now Amazon literally have got like the extended universe. They actually think that the rumor is the first thing they'll work on is a spin-off Moneypenny show.
Wow!
Oh, so they're gonna really monetize off this. They're gonna
try so let's hope it's the part of Amazon that do like Reacher and Alex Cross and Terminal List and not the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's that side.
Who speaking of James Bond, I think he's getting too old now at this point. But I wish like Idris Elba would get a fair shake at it.
I wanted Idris Elba, yeah.
He actually formally said he wouldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Because
really?
this happened like 2 years ago because he was rumored for it.
Yeah,
but because the thing with James Bond is it is like a significant commitment. Like Daniel Craig was doing it for like 15 years or something.
Yeah.
And Brosnan was like 10 years, so it is a significant. They reckon what's his name, Aaron, the guy who was in Craven the Hunter, and he was in Kick-Ass and Bullet Train. What's he called? Aaron Taylor. Aaron, the British actor.
Okay.
He was also in. He's been in a couple of things. Craven the Hunter was what he was in last.
Okay, I have to look him up. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos will be the next Bond villain. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like him like stroking a cat? You know what I mean?
Well, him and Elon Musk must be buying billionaires. Like, you know, at least he's like Moonraker. The man with the golden gun was like a billionaire. You know, the world is not enough. Billionaire, media mogul.
Yeah. Eric said I could see all his gadgets being delivered overnight. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like the brand placement that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Amazon delivery man.
Drones coming in and dropping off.
Amazon Prime.
I don't know if this is I'm starting to think this is not a good thing.
Well, yeah, it is interesting, but hopefully, I mean, there was no hope with the there was no script or they couldn't decide on. They've not selected another Bond, so at least we will get more James. We will get more James Bond, but whether I guess we'll have to.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hey, Thomas, what do you got going on? You got a show this Saturday?
Or we're gonna have a show next Saturday, but I'm off to British Watchmakers Day, so we're taking a month off. So I'm going to be going to British Watchmakers Day. I may do a bit of Gonzo streaming there if I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking the weekend off. So So we're going to do a show in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah. You take the weekend off, and you got to go to bed, man. You got to go to bed soon. Anyway, I gotta go to bed soon. Anyway, guys, hey, really appreciate you guys coming on this evening.
Great show, Bobby. Yeah, great show.
Yeah, and discussing the AP new releases.
Leave a thumbs up, guys. Leave a thumbs up.
Please do. Thank you so much. And remember, next Wednesday I'll be giving away that Di Milano shot sketch watch. And coming up this Friday, we'll do the weekend review. See you guys soon. Have a great rest of your week, and see you on the next stream. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.